So gotta like gotta support my people and all. All that. It probably hadn't hit yet, so as soon as I see it, we'll get it going. Ah, there I am. I'm gotta support my people and all. You can hear it. You can hear the. So there's
support my people and all. Yeah. All right, we are live right now. So hello, Facebook world and Instagram and YouTube, whoever else is listening, watching. As we get set up here, I was giving Brian a minute to get his watch party going. This is Brian Russell Collins. And the whole way I know anything about him is a few shout outs here. I actually know him because of Ryan Clark. He is Ryan's newest drummer.
That I am.
But I met virtually
right.
Figured out who you were when Ryan went on Craig Campbell's bus last week for make sure I say this right, On the Bus Acoustic Sessions Live.
That's the one.
Yeah,
that
was so much fun to watch. Oh my God.
We had a lot of fun that day. We did not expect that it was going to be that much fun. That was the second one we have done because the guy that actually runs it is a good friend of mine, was also my old manager with Josh Grayson, because I still play with Josh Grayson as well.
Oh, wow.
He started this thing with Pioneer Coaching. He's like, hey, you want to come along and, hit the box a little bit and, try to bring in some artists, and then we'll bring in some bigger artists. And then we just bounce around to different artists' buses. And the first week we had...
Look who's watching. Can you see the comments?
I can't see any comments, but I can only imagine.
Look here.
I'm kind of scared. Oh, hi, Ryan. It's nice to see you, buddy. We were on Brad Paisley's bus the first time we did it, and then we did Craig Campbell's bus. So who knows whose bus we're going to be on the next time? So
that is so cool. I tell you what, I watch usually like whenever Ryan does a live, I'll get on, see what he's doing. And it's no offense, Ryan, but it's the same thing. And, I have to hear the dude all the time. So, I might not always watch his shows. I'm just kidding. I watch every one all the way through. But no, seriously. On that show, from the second I got on, I was hooked. I mean, I wanted to see what you guys were going to do next. It was so much fun, and y'all kept my attention the whole time. And I'm going to tell you, the best part of you that night was when you broke out rapping.
Don't tell anybody. Don't tell my mom and dad. They hate it when I do that. It drives them crazy.
I freaking loved it.
It's always a good time. There's a lot of different groups I play with in Nashville when I'm not on the road. We'll play down on Broadway, and then we'll do like a little medley or something, and then we'll just start busting out rapping. So
fun.
Get a few drinks and start rapping, and then everyone's like, Brian, stop, you're old, you can't do that. So it's funny.
No, you did pretty darn good. I mean, I
appreciate that.
I'm impressed. So, and that was just on the box that you used. So I cannot wait to hear it when you're on the whole kit jamming out.
I stand by what my reputation is here in Nashville downtown, that I am the loudest drummer in town, and I'm okay with that. I will take it. Yeah. I will take it. Do I make
drums? That's not a bad thing.
No, I mean, I'm not afraid to hit it. So that's the one thing. I see a couple people in my watch party, and they're some of the people I've worked with downtown, and they're like, "Yep, he's absolutely right. He's telling the absolute truth." So
awesome. I used to want to play the drums when I was little, and middle school, that age when you start messing around with the instruments and stuff. And both my parents were like, "No, not happening."
Right.
I don't know why. I could have been, battling against you.
I'm not that good, but thanks though. I'm honest. I'm humble. I try not to be like too big-headed. I've already got a big head enough as it is for my body. So, it's cool.
Ryan said he's so talented, for real. New songs featuring B.R. Collins.
Appreciate that, Ryan. Thanks, man. I appreciate that much. So.
All right. Well, this is actually, for people watching, this is actually a different show than what I typically do. What I typically do is still musicians, but it's usually based around whatever their latest song drop is, specifically their music career, and they'll sing, 3 or 4 songs while we're on. But I've been wanting to do a different type of show for a little while now, and I just never pulled the trigger until I saw your post the other day, Brian. And
I'm glad inspiration for that. Thank you.
Yeah, you were the inspiration for me just to go ahead and pull the trigger. I mean, I've got so many things going on right now that I stay so busy, but this was just still tugging at my heart to do it. And when I saw your post and read just what little bit you had written on there, I was like, I got to know more.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm just going to let you tell the story. But what I saw was, I'll kind of explain the post to set it up a little bit.
Yeah.
For those of you that maybe didn't see it, for one, go follow Brian. Brian Russell Music Collins. Is that the way we are on there?
It's Brian Russell Collins or Brian Russell Collins Music. I mean, that's how I do it. I just do my full name.
Whole name. Go check him out. Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. Look, he's even got a song out on Spotify. So go check him out, follow him. But on his Facebook is where I'm referring to. I saw the post, and it was an album cover. Is that what it was?
It was this right here.
That right there is what I saw. And so I found out that he is a huge Huey Lewis fan, and that there is a reason behind that. And that's what we're going to hear.
There is, so actually.
And we have a fan watching from Scotland.
Scotland. I can't. If I did the accent wrong, I'm sorry. But I want to go to Scotland. Hello, fan from Scotland.
Well, I've never said his name because I'm deathly afraid of pronouncing it wrong. So I'm going to attempt it. Is it Juvan? Juvan? Juvan. Am I even close at Juvan? And go ahead and grade Brian. How was his Scottish accent there?
If it sucked, it's okay. I've watched a lot of Braveheart, and I tried, and it didn't work. So, yeah.
Well, we got a laughy face, and I'm not sure if that was how I pronounced it or your accent.
Well,
but anyway, we have a fan, so that's good. He has been with me on several shows, so I greatly appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate being a fan.
Oh, I said it right.
My man.
Yes. All right. Good deal. And he said you were okay.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, let's get on with the story. I want to hear how Brian Russell Collins came to be.
Well, as a lot of people don't know, well, I mean, if you really dig into my Facebook, you can find out exactly how old I am. But I get it all the time. A lot of people don't know that I just turned 39, so I'm almost 40 years old.
I would not guess that.
But I'm okay with that. Unfortunately,
yes.
I'm still single, so hey, I'm just saying gotta stop.
Y'all hear that?
Certain people are gonna come on my Facebook and they're gonna be like, I hate you. I'm like, all right, whatever. So my musical story really started at a very, very young age. So I'm originally from Boone, North Carolina. I grew up in North Carolina pretty much my adolescence to high school to college. And then after a little bit of time, I've moved all around. I've lived in 4 different states and kind of chased a dream and finally landed in Nashville and never knew that it would happen, because people can chase a music dream. Not all the time does it come to fruition. And I say that I'm very, very grateful that I've been able to do what I do for a living, and it's been an absolute amazing journey. But a lot of it started when I was younger. I tell a lot of the story sometimes. I try not to because I try to take a lot of attention away from myself because I just hate talking about myself. I just let the music do the work. So when I was young, my mom, well, I mean, she's told this story so many times, and when you hear her tell it, you just cry. But before I was even born, I was actually pronounced dead. So they couldn't find a heartbeat, nothing at all. So my parents had already planned my funeral and everything before I was even born. But I came out, guns a-blazing, and I was screaming like crazy.
Wow.
So, but through that, I had a lot of complications medically when I was younger. To be at my age, I was diagnosed with testicular cancer at a very, very, very young age, before I was even 5. And then I had a lot of issues, going in and back in the hospital. Now, most of this I don't remember because when I was young, so I really don't remember. But the only thing my mom and dad told me that would put me to sleep or just to calm me down was either Huey Lewis and the News or Van Halen. Odd for a child. Normally it's like nursery rhymes.
Yeah.
Not this guy. So I think it was 1985, 86 when the 4 album came out. Now, I was still sick at the time. I really don't remember a lot of it for like my sickness, because I was like 5, 6 years old. So I really don't remember much. So when I was about, I think it was like 5 or 6, about 1986, 87, when the 4 album came out, we found out that Huey was coming to Charlotte because we were living in Boone, North Carolina at the time. So my mom reached out to the radio station in Charlotte and talked to a DJ by the name of Jeff Wicker, told him my story, and said, hey, my son just would really love concert tickets. Well, Jeff did one better and said, hey, how about this? We're going to reach out to the local reps for Huey's record label. They got in contact with him, told him my story, and I got to go backstage at 5 years old. So that's the first time I ever met Huey Lewis. I don't really remember meeting him. I've got pictures of it. I've got a picture hanging on my wall of me and him at that time. But I can say I was the only kid at that time that actually got to meet him and have chocolate milk with the man. So that was good. I was happy. It was a good day.
I'm sure 5-year-old Brian was.
I was like a big kid. Well, I mean, I'm still a big kid, but I mean, I was loving it. I was loving all the attention, at 5, and then my all-time favorite artist walks in and it's like just sits down, talks to me, puts me on his lap, and take pictures with him. And the crazy thing, the story actually made it to Billboard magazine, and it was really cool. So I actually have that magazine framed in my room. Actually, I would leave, but then we'd have this awkward dead silence. So I should have brought it out. I didn't think about it. So I have that picture with me and Huey and Jeff, the DJ, framed. And I also have the album cover of 4 framed with his signature, which I will get to what he wrote. And then the picture of the magazine clipping and the actual magazine at the time. So that was really cool. Got to see the concert and from what I remember of it. So from that time, I'm still learning music, listening to different types of stuff from 5 to 10. Got better health-wise, but I mean, I still had a lot of complications with different illnesses and stuff when I was a lot younger. But music always kind of kept me going. It was always my thing. Even though I played sports in school, music was always something that I went to. Drums was not the first instrument I wanted to land on. I actually wanted to be a frontman and a singer. So I decided in my teens that I would be a drummer. So fast forward to now, I'm 18 years old. In 1999. We were living in Wilmington at the time, and my sister was living in Myrtle Beach doing promotions with the House of Blues. And Huey had just started going out on tour again. So my sister reaches out, says, hey, this is my brother's story, blah, 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 blah. And he decides to want to meet me again. So I bring that picture that's framed in my room, and I show it to him. And he looked at the picture, then he looked at me and he's like, I always wondered about you. And that changed everything.
Wow.
That changed everything for me right there. And then when I looked at his signature on the album cover that he gave me, that kind of still sticks with me a lot, because instead of Ryan, he wrote Brian Best, your pal Huey Lewis. He never wrote Best Wishes. And I never understood why he didn't write Best Wishes, because when I was a kid, I don't really remember about it. But from my camera went weird on me. Sorry. So from what my mother told me is that he only wrote Best instead of Best Wishes because I would always want to wish to do something. I wouldn't go out and do it. So that stuck with me through the years. And, you know, I started playing music more full time when I lived in Wilmington. Really honed in on the drums because, one, I was a big Van Halen fan too. So Alex Van Halen was an inspiration too. So funny thing, I mentioned Van Halen. So Huey Lewis was my biggest inspiration. So I met him twice. And then in 1998, I got to meet Van Halen because my mom, I don't know how my mom does it, but she has a way with talking to radio people that I couldn't when I was younger.
Oh, wow.
I was able to meet Van Halen and, very nice guys. Eddie Van Halen was a very interesting character. I will say that. But
yeah, I'm sure.
I remember Alex Van Halen telling me, because I was like, they introduced us, shook his hand. And I was like, he's like, do you play music? I'm like, yeah, I play drums at my church. And he's like, well, hey, you keep at it. So meeting all the people that I have always been with or like been fans of, I've been able to take those inspirations and keep going. So I decided to keep the passion. So I played all throughout high school. I played through college. When I turned 26, sorry, I had to think about that. There's so many things that happened. When I turned 26, I had another scare with cancer. I had a rare form that hit my blood, which still kind of hard to explain what it was, but it never stopped me from wanting to play or giving up. So I took some time off from playing for a little bit and just decided to work. And I put the drums down for at least, 5-6 years. So I didn't play for a long time after I got sick. And then I met a girl in town. She saw me at like an open mic night or something, and it's like, hey, you really need to do what you're good at and really not give up on it. And so I took that inspiration and I left North Carolina and I went to DC for a little bit, stayed up there for 4 years and met some really great people and some great musicians that actually I still am in contact with quite a bit. I played with a band up in DC called According to Plan, which I was able to be a co-writer on our new album that we'd put out. And that's when I began to really want to be a writer, not only just a drummer. So that stuck with me. And then I left there, went to Long Island for a little bit. I didn't play much in New York because, you're just trying to survive up in New York because it's so expensive. Then went out west to San Fran for about 6 months. And I was like, not for me. Great music scene, but just not for me. And then I came back to North Carolina for about maybe a year before I met a good friend of mine that I went to high school with. He lived here in Nashville. He was doing really well. And he's like, dude, you need to come to Nashville. You need to give it a shot. You're not dead yet. You're not married. You don't have kids. So why don't you just go on and give it a shot? I'm like, well, why not? Because at the time I was working a real job. I was making really good money. And I was like, well, why would I leave that security to go chase a dream that I don't even know is going to work? So I took a leap of faith and was just deciding, I was like, you know what? Screw it. Let's do it. What's the worst that can happen? So came out here in 2015. I've been here ever since. My first 2 years were a little tough, because you're still trying to get used to Nashville, what it's all about, meeting different people. And I'd mentioned, I think he's actually still watching. Let me see if he's still watching. So I'm going to send him a wave real quick. Maybe. Let's see if he's still watching. I knew I knew there was one artist I did want to play with when I moved to Nashville, and his name was Josh Grayson. Now, if a lot of you don't know who Josh Grayson is, Josh is an American Idol singer from season 2. He was the Marine on season 2.
Was it season 2?
Yeah, he was season 2, and I fell in love with Josh on season 2. Bought his albums, bought every single one of them. I'll play the music, even got his new stuff that's out. And I remember when I first moved to Nashville, I bugged the absolute crap out of Josh on Facebook. He's he was really great. He was like, hey, if I ever need a drummer, I'll let you know. Thanks for reaching out, blah, blah, blah. So we really didn't hear much from each other for a while. And then our old manager actually called me out of the blue. And you can't make this up because this is really true. Because, you're like a kid where you're like in the concert and you're like, oh, man, if that drummer breaks his leg, I'm going to go up and I'm going to go play that. Well, that's kind of what happened. His drummer at the time broke, I think, his arm or his foot. And our old manager, reached out and said, hey, I need you to be in Baltimore this weekend. You're playing for Josh Grayson. I'm like, what? And Josh and I hit it off really well. We still talk quite a bit. Josh is a phenomenal human being. The music he writes, the just the music alone, his voice is unbelievable. I wish I could sing that good. So I am I'm very happy with being able to not say that I still get to do my dreams, but I would say my dream job. So that was the really cool thing. Then COVID-19 hit and we're all kind of screwed. So we haven't really been able to do anything, but I'm always playing with everybody. So I love to play. So that's the cool thing. I jump around a lot. Sorry. I get a little happy. I'm like, hey. But Nashville has definitely been, a dream come true. One, getting to play with Josh is a huge thing. I've been able to record with some pretty well-known people, and I was very shocked that I was able to do that. I've toured all over the country, from 2015 till now, and to say at my age to leave a job, to be really secure, doing a good job and not have to worry about, not worrying about money and things like that, to follow a dream, especially at my age, that I've been able to do this is unbelievable. It's a very, very great journey. And my journey's not even over yet. Just because COVID-19 hit, that don't mean anything. We've all got a lot of great things going on. And, I was very happy that Ryan gave me an audition that I get to do some stuff with him, which is really great. Ryan's a phenomenal artist. So I love to play with different people as well. So it keeps that muscle flexed. So, but, in a short span of everything, that is kind of my story in a nutshell. Right now I'm cancer free.
Good. I was going to ask that. Good.
I don't have a lot of it right now. I shouldn't have any. I did go to the doctor. Unfortunately, I know I do have to go for a little bit of a procedure on the 26th, but we're good. We're good. I'm just keeping an open mind. So everything's good there. But everything's been has been great. I'm actually seeing some friends that are actually musician friends of mine jumping on here. Hey, Adam, what's up? Adam, our old manager from Josh Grayson, is in here. So saying hey to him. Good buddy of mine is in here right now. Dean Sizemore, phenomenal guitar player. If you ever want to geek out and have Dean is that guy. That's my man right there. So, but yeah, that's my story really.
It's crazy to me that our paths have crossed, and to learn that you are from Boone, which is 30 minutes from me, and then you decided to move to Washington, D.C. I actually grew up 45 miles south of D.C.
Nice. Whereabouts?
That's just so strange. In Warrington.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I used to live in a little town called Woodbridge, Virginia.
Oh yeah.
So, or as they call it, Hood Bridge is what we call it.
Yeah. I've still got family up in that area. I go to Northern Virginia whenever I get a chance. I love it up there.
I miss Northern Virginia. I really do. I don't miss the traffic. The traffic was terrible, so I can't. I can't do all that. So
yeah. Well, when I was there, of course, it was pre-driving age, so I didn't care about the traffic. But as long as we stayed in Warrington, we could even go into Manassas at that time, and it was fine.
right.
But my dad commuted to work. He actually worked right in front of Redskin Park, if you know where that is in DC.
I
so
do.
he worked, so he had to deal with the traffic all the time. But I'm very familiar with it, and it is a nightmare.
It is a nightmare. It's not fun. It's not fun at all. I've never been a fan of DC traffic, and I don't. But I'm a hardcore Washington Nationals fan, so I'll take the traffic just to go to a game. I really want to go to a game right now, really bad. So, but I'll be up there soon. So
Yeah. I haven't been to New York City since I was a kid, and I've not been to LA. So with those, I don't know that anybody's traffic is as bad as DC traffic.
I've heard LA is pretty bad, but I can't say I've heard. I've been there. If I don't have to go back, I'm good. I'll play there. If I got to play there, I'll play. But to live there, absolutely not.
Yeah, I've heard that. My brother actually was in the Coast Guard, and he lived in LA for a while, and he could not get out of there fast enough. I mean, he hated it. Yeah,
it's definitely not a very fun place to live, from what I hear.
That's what I hear.
It's great. I love the San Francisco area. I love the Bay Area. Like anytime I go back, I mean, it's such a fun time. I mean, you can never go wrong. I mean, you got wine up there, so I mean, why not?
Yeah, exactly.
And the Bay Area, where Huey Lewis is from. The sports cover album. I found that bar where they did that at, and I actually took a picture there. I think I actually might have it on my phone. Let me see if I have that.
Really? Yeah, share that.
So yeah, that was the one reason why I love San Francisco, which is So here is that.
Yeah, I would love to go there.
Of the sports album cover, and
wow,
there's the bar, right there. So,
that's cool.
So
that is cool.
Look at that. Memory lane, people. Memory lane. So
memory lane. All right. Well, the exception of Huey Lewis, obviously, that cannot be your answer, and not Van Halen, because you've already said both of them. So, with the exception of them, because I'm sure you've been to a lot. What's your favorite concert?
Favorite concert?
Yeah.
Well, besides Josh Grayson. Because I play for the guy.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
That doesn't count, Josh. I know Josh is on here watching, so he's probably going to throw something at me after this. Be like, dude, really? I'm just kidding. No, Josh is great. Best concert I think I've ever seen? Oh, man, there's so many. I'm going to give you my top three. How about that? I'll give you my top three.
That works.
I'm kind of a pop punk fan.
I'd probably be the same way.
So
a what?
I'm a little bit of even though I love Huey Lewis and Van Halen, stuff like that, I am kind of an emo kid, so I'm all about the punk rock, kind of hardcore kind of music in a way. I would have to say Story of the Year, which was phenomenal, one of the most energetic shows I've ever seen. Alter Bridge would be another one, which is basically Creed without Scott Stapp. So,
okay.
Miles Kennedy can sing like an angel, and I love him for it. And third one, let's think here. One of the biggest concerts I've seen, and I would have to go Blink-182. I've seen them twice, and it's still a phenomenal show. So those are my top three that I would go to, and I would go back time and time and again and watch it anytime. So that's my rock side. That's my rock side. Now my top three country concerts that I do. Jason Aldean puts on a hell of a show. I can watch that band all day long. His drummer and I are really good friends. Rich Redmond is phenomenal. It just makes me mad how good he is. So Jason is phenomenal live for his band. Another country concert that I would say was really good was Kenny Chesney, and I saw Kenny Chesney with Keith Urban back in the early 2000s.
Oh, wow.
Keith blew up. I mean, it was, oh my God, unreal.
That would have been amazing.
I mean, Keith, you can't say anything about Keith that everyone's like, oh,
I love Keith Urban.
Like, if you don't think Keith Urban is the bomb, then something's wrong.
I love him.
That man can put on a hell of a show. I mean, he can play, and that's what I liked about it, is the man can actually play.
Yes.
Insane. And another band that I thought they were great. They were off The Voice. I saw them at CMA Fest when I first moved into town. Was the Swan Brothers. Like, I love the Swan Brothers. Like, their album is great.
I have to look them up. I'm not familiar.
Oh, the Swan Brothers are phenomenal. They are an absolute phenomenal band. Great songwriters, and they're just phenomenal to watch. So hopefully there's a lot more concerts that's going to happen. I know,
right?
I'm excited to do more stuff, with Josh, with Ryan. I'm looking forward to just being back out on the road because I miss being on the road. So, I'm in my apartment right now, actually. So I'm actually
I didn't think that looked quite like a bus.
No, not like a bus. I'm in my apartment right now. I'm actually getting ready to move to a house. When I first moved into town, I found a house out where I used to live. So I can't play my drums in an apartment. So
I didn't think about that. Oh, true. Yeah.
Now things are gonna be good, so I can't complain. So
you're gonna be somewhere where you can jam out. You can't. Yeah.
Very
have
true.
Neighbors complaining. Gosh.
Mm-hmm. So. But no, I mean, it's been a crazy life. It's been a crazy journey. I never thought in a million years I would get endorsements and sponsorships and stuff like that. I never thought in a million years that would happen. And my drums are by a company actually from North Carolina in Wilmington. They're called Tidal Drum Works. I don't know if Tony's watching. He may be. I've been partnered with them for about 2 years, and they make some of the most phenomenal drums ever. And we use like different exotic woods instead of just like, your regular, hey, I'm going to use birch, I'm going to use maple. So we're using different stuff like oak and hickory and things like that. And it's just insane how they sound. So, being able to get a stick sponsorship from ProMark Drumsticks, never thought that would happen. So now I'm working on cymbals and a bunch of other stuff. I had one clothing sponsorship, but I was like, we'll wait for a little bit because I have no fashion. My fashion is a V-neck, this skinny jeans, and a backwards hat. That's my
that's your way of dress. Well, if you had a clothing sponsorship, though, they'd probably make suggestions of what to wear. So
probably, I don't mind the skinny jean look. My legs look good, in the skinny jeans. I get that. I'll tell you, if I could ever get an endorsement, if Vans, the shoes, if Vans is, I'm all about your shoes. Come on. So I would love to have a Vans sponsorship and an endorsement. That would be so much fun because, I'm a beach bum. If I'm not playing shows if I'm not playing shows or downtown, I will literally be in a pair of shorts and flip flops or a pair of Vans, and that's what I will do. And
I get that because if it's warm weather, I'm going to have shorts and flip flops. But as soon as it's not warm weather and I have to put jeans on, then it's my boots.
Yep.
So I will be that woman that comes to Nashville and they cannot say I'm a tourist because I'm wearing boots.
Yep.
I'm legit.
Boots in Nashville. No,
I know, right?
Not right now.
Yeah, really. But and then if it's warm weather, flip flops, and as long as I own flip flops and boots, I'm good. That's all I need as far as shoe wear goes. But I do have a lot of them. Right. I mean, like a lot. Like, see that? That's my boot closet on the bottom.
My closet literally has 3 pairs of Vans and flip-flops. And I'm wearing my flip-flops right now.
You don't own a pair of boots at all?
Hell no. No. I used to be a boots guy. I have 1 pair of boots. 1 pair, and they were I think they were called Fry. I think that's the brand. And I spent $400, and I was like, never again will I do that. So
you don't have to spend. My favorite pair of boots is my cheapest ones probably, and they're Justin's, but they weren't. But like, I don't know, $60-$70.
Yeah,
and they're my favorite pair of boots.
I loved my boots. They were great. I had them for years, and they finally the soles wore out, and it started getting a little uncomfortable. Someone's talking to me over here about boots. My friend Melissa from North Carolina, she's just like me. You know my boot closet, and she's right. She has way too many boots, and
you can't have too many boots.
I mean, you can have as many boots as you want to. So
you're doing a sponsorship from Vans. See, I could have any boot place want to have me be their spokesperson, and I'd be like, sold.
Done.
As long as you give me access to all your boots, hey, it's good.
Right.
Or I mean, even give me 1 pair a year. That's it's all right.
Dude, I'd be happy if they sent me 10 pairs. I'd be okay. Like if Vans sent me 10 pairs, I'd be like, we're good. And then talk to Rainbow and be like, hey, give me 2 pairs of sandals. We're good. And then and I'll call Hollister and I'll be like, hey, I need your skinny jeans because they fit really good on me and they feel good. And then other than that, I'll be fine. Maybe Old Navy because I like Old Navy. I'm a hot mess when it comes to fashion because I have no idea what looks good and what doesn't look good. I'm a drummer. I sit behind a drum. You're not going to see my feet or what I'm wearing anyway. But you have to play the part. So that was the biggest thing. When I came to Nashville, I had a roommate that drove me crazy. And he was like, yeah, man, you got to wear skinny jeans. You always got to look rock and roll. You can never not look rock and roll. And I'm like, dude, I'm a drummer. Like, I get it, but you're not going to see me. All you're going to see is my hands doing this. I mean, but I get it.
No, you'll notice your shirt.
So, but no, I enjoyed it because then I started learning fashion and learning how, the Nashville life is. So, you get used to it after a while. Like when I go home, it's funny. My mom and my dad, they pick on me so much. So does my nephew. But they're just like, what are you wearing? I'm like, it's called fashion. And they can't stand it. Right? They're crazy. And like friends from home, like from Wilmington. I claim Wilmington more home than I do Boone because I spent more time in Wilmington. And that's kind of where I cut. So it's funny. Like so many friends from Wilmington are like, dude, you do know you're a beach bum, right? You don't have to come here looking like a rock star all the time. I mean, we know you're a rock star and all, but you don't have to. I'm like, guys, I'm not a rock star. I just want to look good. I'm just trying to get a girl. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. Gosh.
It doesn't work in my favor, I will tell you that. Everybody thinks it's like, oh, you have like 50 girlfriends. No, I don't. I work. I don't have time. I don't have time for a girl. Even though I do, but I don't. But one day. So
I was going to say, if you had one that you wanted to make time for, you could.
Oh yeah. I mean, hey, if they'll just buy me more of these, we're good. So.
You heard it, people. That's the way to Brian's heart. Just buy him some Huey Lewis records.
Hibachi, Japanese food to my heart.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And Mexican food.
Yes.
Doesn't take much.
I think you must be my little brother. I'm telling you, yes. Awesome.
I'm waiting for so many of my friends right now to start talking crap to me right now because I'm looking over it. I'm like, I'm just waiting for all of it to happen right now. So. I mean, that's the thing about like my job. I take my job seriously, but I always want to make sure everyone laughs because that's the thing about like what myself, Ryan, a bunch of all these artists, they do. We do work really hard. We're in the public eye a lot. And, yes, we have to be serious, but, we're human just like everybody else. We like to have fun. I like to have fun. I'm an idiot. I will tell everybody in a heartbeat, I'm the biggest moron in the world. But that's what you have to do. Like, that's one thing about this job. I mean, if you're not having fun and if you're not, like, giving back, or if you're just like, then to me, I don't think it's worth it. But every artist that I have played with, from when I first started in Nashville to now, every one of them have cared about the job, but they also care about, if it's not fun, it's not worth doing. So that's what I love about I've taken inspiration from every artist I've played with here in town. I take a lot of inspiration from Ryan, actually. Ryan, when we first met, and we met before, but we never actually jammed, but like Ryan's drive is unreal. Like with Josh, Josh's drive is unbelievable. And it's just like, I take inspirations from every guy that I played with. So it's that, and that's what you have to do. And one, like in my position, I'm mainly, my job is drumming and making sure, the band is on time. Now, do I front sometimes and sing? Yes, I did put a song out that's a cover of the band Story of the Year on Spotify. So I was very happy with that. It did all right.
I listened to it. It's good.
A lot of people don't realize that that's me screaming. Everyone's like,
"Oh yeah." Well, at first I was like, "Wait a minute, have I got the right Brian?" And I was looking, checking, make sure, and I was like, "Yeah, that's him." I was like, "All right, he's got a different side to him I didn't know about."
Oh well, that's really my go-to. I love that. And I love fast, like in your face, or like when you leave. Like if I'm not playing with like Ryan or Josh, if you come to like one of my Broadway shows, my goal, or like with the band I play with, because it's not me per se, it's the artist that I hire, because I'm mainly the band leader most of the time. But I will hire an artist, and when you leave our show, our goal, and my goal, is to just kick your ass for 4 hours, and you're just like, whoa, how did that happen? And it's like, oh, not everything's country. We like to get down. We like to have fun. And I mean, even like with shows with my main artists that I do, I mean, we want to kick your ass. We want to make sure you're having fun. So, I mean, and that's the job. That's what keeps you coming back for more. So,
I think you just touched on something. I think it's a huge misconception that Nashville is just country, and it's not. I mean, there's a variety of music in Nashville, just like any other big city.
Yep. I mean, I'll touch on a band here that I'm a huge fan of, and they're not even signed, and they should be, and they're buddies of mine. They're a band called True Villains, and that, I will tell you, is one of the most rockinest bands I've seen in town. And they're not even country. But there's also a lot of really good pop artists here too. Yeah. There's so many good pop artists. My roommate, actually, she's phenomenal. Her name is Laura Walsh, and tiny little thing. Like, I'm like, okay, like, you probably like got a little bit of a voice. And then the first time I heard her sing, I went, yeah. What comes out of that?
Blew you away.
Entrapment there. She is phenomenal. How she's not signed is beyond me too. And I'm not just saying that because she's my roommate. Like, I said that to her when I first. I mean, there's so many great artists that are not just country. I mean, like True Villains being one of them, Laura Walsh being another pop artist. There's another guy here in town that I've done some work with, Sam Varga, phenomenal songwriter. There's another guy that's a good friend of mine in town, Will Finley, great songwriter. I mean, just so many. I can name so many people that I've worked with that I think that are just great artists that have not been noticed and haven't gotten that chance. But when it happens, you're like, whoa, this came out of Nashville. And it's crazy because not everything here is country. And one thing I love about playing the Broadway scene sometimes is because, I get to see all those different characters and all those different people. So that's the thing I love. I'll even touch on musicians that I'm just like, holy crap, how are you not on a major gig or played, way bigger. There's a kid that I love to death here in town, and he's one of our good friends that we geek out about, like Marvel and all kinds of stuff. He's a guitarist in here. Actually, just released his solo stuff. His name is Brandon Wiggers. Brandon is a phenomenal guitar player. I mean, this kid, 23, 24 years old. And to say that at his age that he's already played the Grand Ole Opry is a massive accomplishment.
Wow,
So,
yes.
but like his solo stuff, unreal. But guitarist wise, I was like, dude, how do you do that? Like, I don't know how he does it, but it's phenomenal. My friend Dean
that kind of stuff blows me away.
Oh yeah, my friend Dean Sizemore that is in here on my watch party. I mean, phenomenal guitar player. Him and I do a lot of gigs together, but I mean, that guy has played with some well-known names, and it still baffles me on how amazing he is. And he's played everywhere. And I mean, man, drummer wise, I mean, man, there's so many drummers in this town that just make my head spin. Good friend of mine, Andrew Grasso, plays for a up and coming group called 641. I mean, he's a phenomenal guy. There's another guy in here plays with a friend of mine, Angel Edwards. His name is Graylin. I don't know him really well, but phenomenal drummer. I mean, I could talk about all kinds of musicians all day long and shout all of them out, which kind of, selfish plug.
No, you go right ahead. Plug away. I don't mind. That's one of the reasons I'm here.
So
I love that. That's why I love doing the music show, is because I love showcasing, a lot of people that do shows like this, they only have the unsigned or unheard of artist on because that's all we can get. Oh, right. Not necessarily. That's what I want to focus on, because there are so many artists in Nashville that a lot of them do get overlooked.
Oh yeah, and every day.
I mean, like I'm not gonna say she's overlooked, because I don't think she is all the time. And I bring this person's name up often because I love her to death. Lizzie Cates. If you don't know her, look her up. Yeah. And if you don't know her, then she is overlooked. And it blows my mind because this girl is phenomenal.
Right.
Phenomenal. She just put out, like everybody else, it seems like, dropped a new single last Friday. Yeah. And it is freaking fantabulous. I cannot wait until the video drops. But awesome. I mean, there are so many artists that I have interviewed on my channel, and I'm like, why do you not have a deal yet? Like, why are you not signed?
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, you're freaking fantastic. Like yesterday, I had Hallie Kearns on. She is freaking amazing.
She's great. She was awesome.
Yeah. And I'm just like, I love it. I love it because I get to, sometimes I get to hear songs before everybody else does. Sometimes I get to see, tiny clips of videos before anybody else does. Yeah. And I'm like, I love this, and I love being able to showcase their talent and give them a platform, to do it on, whether or not anybody notices them from my channel or not. But at least I'm doing a little bit to, help get them out there. And I mean, I love it. It's so much fun. And
I'm grateful that you asked me to do this. I mean, it feels good to be able to kind of, from someone that's not a front man, from my perspective, and also get to share why I came to Nashville. And what I
love it.
And it's amazing. I mean, I can tell you that this town has made my wildest dreams come true, and this town has also made me go bald. So, I mean, it's a win-win. I will say
it's a win-win. Yeah. I mean, and I love it. And I want to have more drummers on and more guitar players on and keyboard players, just songwriters. It doesn't have to be, and that's what part of this side of the show is about, is the other side, not the singer-songwriter that's up front.
Right. Absolutely.
And, because there's so many more components to what goes into making music. Like, I mean, I would love to have the producers on. I mean,
Oh,
I
yeah.
have heard, and I mean, I'm going to do some plug-ins, plugs myself. Ryan's producer and videographer, Justin and Angel. Oh my gosh. Those are amazing guys. They're amazing. And like without Justin, Ryan's singles wouldn't make it to where they're, well, I mean, maybe they could, but he plays a huge role in it. And then the video's getting produced. I mean,
that's what the producer's for. Your producer is to help your song take
exactly
life. And that's something I dabble in too. I've been doing a lot of producing with a friend of mine here in town.
Have you? That's awesome.
Not only played on her album, but it's a friend of mine from home, from Wilmington. Her and her husband came out here, and we did her album. We tracked it, everything. I was co-producing with it with my friend CJ, and I love producing. I love hearing how a song just takes life. But I also love songwriting too, so I've really dabbled into that. Yesterday, I'd had the idea. I get a little wordy when I write, so I used to write a lot of really dark, like I hate things before, because when I was 24, I was young and dumb and got married. Don't ever do it again. No, I'm kidding. I actually do want to get married again. But I wrote about the dark side of things that I never thought of. Now I'm writing more of this lovey-dovey stuff, and the song that I just finished, which I'm very proud of, which I will actually be recording with the guys I wrote it with and releasing it. The guys I wrote with, Zan Frett and Bronze James. It's a song called Where You Are. I'm so proud of this one. I can't wait to put it out. The work tape sounds great too. So it's like that poppy, emo-ish type style. So it's very catchy. So I'm going to start doing that a little bit. Will I ever be a frontman? Probably not. I'm really good at what I do on the drums. So, but I'm not a one-trick pony. I like to do all kinds of things. I like to have my hands in different little pots.
It sounds like it. Yeah.
But that's the thing about Nashville. You always have to stay busy. You always have to stay busy. If you're not staying busy and you're not doing something that's going to get you out there or get you noticed, then I mean you're just going to be spinning wheels and stuff. So
well, and the more versatile you can be, the more opportunities there are for you.
Absolutely. I mean, there's so many opportunities that have came my way that I never thought in a million years that they would. I mean, even to be offered the Josh Grayson gig, I was like, holy crap, how did I get that? I mean, and really it's what they say, be in the right place at the right time. And not only just being in the right place at the right time, but sometimes it is who you know. That is true. That is true too.
In who you know, if you don't make a good impression on that person, if you're not a good person, if you don't have a great personality, if you're not approachable, then it doesn't matter who you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, and you've got that in spades. So, I mean,
thank you.
Definitely don't have any issues there. That's for sure.
I try to be fun. I don't try to be somebody that I'm not, and I don't try to oversell myself, because I tell people what you see is what you get.
Exactly. Be your authentic self.
I'm the type of guy that I wear my heart on my sleeve, but I give people a really great product is what I tell people. And, I try to give everybody the best performance too. Now, have I screwed up some gigs before and gotten fired? I will be the first one to tell you, yes, I have. And hopefully it won't be the last time. But, I mean, people get hired and fired from gigs. It happens, and it's a learning process. It's a learning curve.
Hold on. It's raining in my window.
Oh, no.
Jeez. It just started all of a sudden pouring down rain and coming in the window. Oh my God, my whole computer is wet.
Oh no. We don't need that. So
let me dry it off. What the heck? That just came out of nowhere. I was like, oh my gosh. I knew the storm was coming because I've got this astronomical freaking headache today. So I knew a storm was coming, but then the computer started getting glitchy And like I
Right.
was still able to hear what you were saying. I don't know if I was coming in and out, but you were like coming in and out, but I could still follow you, thank goodness.
There you
So
go.
I knew it was fixing to come, but I mean, the sun was shining, and then all of a sudden, but that's the way it's
happens.
been for the past 2 weeks, every single day. I'm over
Right.
it. I am
That's how
over it.
Last week here in Nashville, all it did was just rain, and it was depressing. And I wanted to go to the pool, and it didn't happen. So,
Yeah.
but it's okay.
Now that's gonna suck when you move to a house. You're not gonna have a pool anymore, are you?
It's okay. It's all right. I mean,
You probably know plenty of people that have one, right?
oh yeah. I mean, I do. I mean, it's cool. I mean, the thing was, I mean, I was down in North Carolina for like a month last month. I mean, I took time off to. I mean, there was no reason to really be in Nashville because nothing was going on because the mayor has a shutdown. That's another story that we'll keep for another day. So I took time off.
Yeah, I know about that.
I went down to North Carolina. I went down to Wilmington, and I also went to Boone to see family. So spent most of the month down there, my birthday and everything there, and it was good. And, it was a nice little reset. But being back in Nashville is a big thing because this is where the creativity is. This is where
for sure.
And I love being here. I love being around creative people, and it makes my job fun. There are days where I want to pull my hair out with some artists where I'm just like, okay, dude, let's just get to work. Come on. But the artists I play with now are great.
It's not anybody that's watching though.
No. Anyone that's watching, we're good. We're good. We're tight. We're tight. I'm getting fired.
Now, next time you come to North Carolina, you better let me know.
I will. We're I know the tour with Josh that we had because, man, we were so geared up to have a great tour this year. We were one of the last buses to leave Nashville back in March, and as we got to El Paso, everything shut down, and we had to turn right back around.
Oh my gosh!
Good thing was I was on a tour bus, so I got to sleep time, but I can't tell you what else happened on the bus. We'll just leave it at that. We had a good time. I'm
sure it was a being pissed off party, probably.
Oh, we were hungover. We were super hungover. So
imagine that. Artists drinking. What?
No, we didn't do anything like that. But no, we were actually working on some stuff for Josh. We were actually working on some stuff in North Carolina, and then we were trying to get into the Jacksonville area because Josh was in the Marines, so he has a really big Marine following. We were trying to get there, and then just like everything we try to book now, I mean, you just can't do anything, and it sucks because it's just like, this whole thing just sucks for all of us artists because we just want to play, we want to work, and I mean, now don't get me wrong, and don't say that we haven't been burned out. Trust me, I was in March before the shutdown. I was already maybe at 100 shows already. I'd already played 100 shows. Last year I played 345. So
wow,
I was burned out. So I was pretty shot.
Out of 365 days.
Yeah.
What? You couldn't do 20 more shows? What's wrong with you?
One of my old guitarists did. He played downtown. We did shows on the road together. He played downtown. He would play 2 or 3 times a day sometimes. And then we'd go on the road and do shows. And I think he clocked after like time off and stuff. But, because when you do Broadway, you do doubles, triples, quads, all that stuff. And you're playing 4 hours at a time. So sometimes you'll play 12 hours in a day. He clocked around like 400 shows. And it was insane. And he's a workhorse. The guitarist is a little bit easier. Guitarists a little bit easier. Singers, I don't know how they would do that. I don't know how some of them do it. Drummers, especially with how I play, there's no way I could do that. I mean, I would do it after a second show. Because normally when I leave a show after I'm done playing a show, if I'm not drenched in sweat, then I didn't play right. I didn't give it my all. So, but yeah, it's crazy with how last year was to now where we're at, where I've only got the shows on the books, but I'm still grateful though. I'm still grateful, even though shutdown has happened. I'm very grateful to still be able to make a living doing what I do. And I'm still grateful for like all the people I get to play with still, that we're all friends. And that we've all been able to really band together and try to get through this whole crazy thing. But we're all going to come back. We're going to come
unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been unreal. And I didn't realize the extent of the shutdown of how it affected the music industry until I started working for Ryan. And then it's like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy and it's sad. It's sad because I'm so afraid for Nashville and downtown, and not just downtown, but anywhere that has music venues. That has music venues. So not just Nashville, but everywhere that, we just want to see live music come back and these venues survive and not,
we do too.
The smaller ones cannot survive.
Unfortunately,
without it. I mean, that's what brings their money in.
And what I'm worried about North Carolina right now, you guys got shut down for 5 more weeks. So it's just like, who knows? I mean, it's crazy. It's pretty crazy.
It is.
And I hate it. I hate it for everybody. I hate that it's making life a lot harder. But hey, come November, it'll probably change, right? I did not say
that's what I'm thinking.
I didn't say that on live, because I'm not supposed to.
That's okay.
I
usually don't talk about politics or religion online, but we're not. We're talking about the pandemic.
Yeah.
We're just predicting the time that we think it will be over. That's all.
We all say the same thing. So we all say the same thing.
I think that everybody, if they haven't said it, they're thinking it and just don't want to say it for whatever reason.
Yeah, pretty much.
I say what I think, so.
Same here. Sometimes it's got me in trouble, sometimes it's not, but,
Same here.
sometimes you just got to get to the point where you're scared. But.
Yeah, absolutely. At my age, I'm like, oh, well.
Same.
I got a little bit of age on you, so.
Oh, hush. But yeah.
Go ahead. Compliment me. Go ahead.
Oh, you look.
I listen. I know I don't look almost 50.
Oh, God.
Truly, I will be 50 years old. It's a big 5-0 on the 23rd.
I hope I still look. I mean, I'm not going to say I look great, but I don't look terrible for my age. So hopefully by the time I hit 40 and by the time I hit 50, I'll still kind of have that young baby face look. So I'll take it. So, and if it keeps getting weird, I'm all right with it. So
I know I used to hear all the time when I was like in my 30s and even in my 40s that, oh, you don't look your age. You don't look your age. And I'm like, great. Thank you. I hope it stays with me forever. But, maybe I have good genes. My grandma is like 95 years old and you would never know it. I mean, even now she doesn't look it, but so.
My sisters, I mean, they look pretty good. I talk crap about my sisters right now because one of them's on here, so I'm probably gonna get flipped up.
So, how many sisters do you have?
I have 2. I'm the baby.
2. Any brothers?
No, I have a lot of guy friends or good buddies of mine that I call brothers, but no brothers.
Of course.
No.
So 2 sisters and they're older. That was rough on you growing up, huh?
It's okay. It made me stronger because when I got a little older and they tried things.
No. Now, are either one of your sisters musical? Hey.
I know how to set hair on fire. Actually, my oldest sister, Marty, she was a singer. Actually came out to Nashville, had great opportunities, and then she wanted to have babies. So Lisa, my other sister, my middle sister, she played flute. So, but she sings. My niece is very talented. She's a very great singer for her age. And, I've always wanted everybody in my family to do stuff musically, but I was really the only one that kind of took the plunge and went after it.
Chase after it.
Marty, my big sister pushed me to do this big time, and she told me I was stupid if I didn't take the chance. And I'm glad I listened. It wasn't just her.
Yeah.
I listened to a lot of people too. You know, I listened to friends up in DC that told me that, dude, you've got to do this. And, you know, I'm glad I did. I really am. I never thought. I mean, last year, July 4th, I played Las Vegas, and that's the first time I'd ever seen Las Vegas. And
Wow.
I thought in a million years that I would get to play there. I mean, I've opened up for artists like Toby Keith, Low Cash. I mean, it's crazy that rest in peace, Joe Diffie was my last tour that I did with Josh.
Phenomenal.
Joe was a great man. You know, Joe was super nice to us. I know Josh and Joe were really good friends, but Joe was super nice to all of us. Even when we would get on the bus with him, just super nice. You know, just come on. It was like a family. You know, and you know, when we found out that he passed away, that kind of hit us pretty hard. But you know, I can say that people that I've listened to when I was younger and have met here in Nashville, and to say that I've shared stages with these people. And you know, meeting Craig Campbell. I mean, Craig was great.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so many of these guys that, you know, you're like, wow, you know, I live in Nashville, and you never thought you'd become friends with these people. And
and then
you do. It's an insane, crazy roller coaster life.
All because you decided to chase your dream. And that's, I love though that you did that. And I love the story that you had, because you didn't have a normal childhood, and thankfully you're well, and we pray that you stay that way. But that you weren't afraid to go after your dream. I mean, and that's what, you know, anybody that's watching this, if we have any kids watching or that watches the replay later, you know, go after your dream. And that's what, you know, I've told all of my kids, and I hope, you know, my grandchildren and many generations to come, just, they can be whatever they want to be.
Yeah.
Just don't be afraid to go after it. You know, anybody. You can be what you want to be. You set your mind to it and go. That's exactly what you did, and look what you have for it, you know?
I'm not where I want to be. You know, I haven't made that big chance to where I'm selling out stadiums with people, but, you know, still the fact that I've been able to do what I do for a living and take it for granted, because tomorrow it can end. Like right now, you know, with the pandemic going on, it really just, a lot of us, you know, we didn't expect it. And none of us here in Nashville have taken our job for granted. You know, we're very grateful that we get to do this. And, you know, I know that it could all end tomorrow. And like my hands could go, my feet could go, my voice could go. I mean, anything can go. And that's it.
Never take anything for granted. Exactly.
So many people are like, well, what's your backup plan? And, you know, I do have a backup plan, but I always told people there's no backup plan. This is it. This is what I'm out here to do. But it's not just music. You know, anybody can, like you said, follow a dream. I mean, it's not just music. I mean, I've got friends of mine, especially in Raleigh. I got a friend of mine that she is a wine seller. She sells wine by day, but she is a fitness instructor, but also trying to break into the fitness industry. And that is her dream. You know, she wants to do that. And that's amazing. I keep telling her all the time, I'm like, do it. You know, she released she made her own workout that is something that she created years ago, and it took a lot of time to put it out, and she did. And I think she's done a great job. And, you know, I keep telling her, I was like, hey, you can do it. You just
absolutely.
And I think she's done a great job with it. I've also got young friends in Wilmington that are still playing, you know, acoustically in the bars, and they're just like, man, I'm just scared to do it. I'm like, what's stopping you? Well, I got a kid. Okay. Can your kid travel to Nashville? You know, nothing is out of reach. You know, that's something I put in a lot of my stories all the time when I post a story or I'm trying to be inspirational. I'm not the most inspirational person, but I try.
Yeah.
You know, I always put your dreams are never out of reach. If
Absolutely.
you think that they are, then you're not pushing hard enough. You know, you have to be willing. You got to be willing to fail. I will tell you that. You know, I was scared. That was my biggest thing. I was scared to fail when I moved to Nashville, and I was like, I can't fail. I'm not allowed to. I don't want to. But the thing is, you have to. You've got to learn that. You've got to learn that there are some failures, and you're gonna get knocked around on your ass, and it sucks when it happens. But also, you know, it's those failures that find that light, and you're like, oh crap, okay, that's what I'm waiting for, and you just keep pushing. I mean, one door closes, another door opens. That's very true saying. I know it's cliche, but it's very true, and that has happened with me a lot. You know, I've had some things happen here in Nashville before the pandemic. You know, I was like, I didn't want to lose this gig, but I lost it. But you know what? Another opportunity opened, and I'm like, I get it. Thanks, God. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, if I can tell anybody that's watching, or anyone that's got a dream, if it's music, fitness, you know, you want to be a culinary arts person, or you know, you want to be the biggest architect, but go after it. Go all in. You have to be all in, though. You have to be 100%.
Absolutely.
Because if you're not 100% in, then it's not worth it. You know, you can't just be like, it's like a relationship. You know, you can't be like, oh, I'm half in and half out. No, you got to be 100% in. And if you're not, then you're not going to see the results what you want. And that was my thing. I was like, I've got to be all in this. And if I don't go all in this with all of my heart, I am not going to succeed. And trust me, there are days that I want to pack it up and go home. Trust me, I miss my family. I've missed my friends. I mean, I have missed weddings. I've missed birthdays. I've missed funerals. You know, my grandmother died while I was playing a show, and her funeral was the day of the show, and I couldn't get out of it. I had to play. So, you know,
wow.
I have missed stuff. And everyone's like, oh, it's because you just want to be a rock star. It has nothing about being a rock star, you know, but this is that term, commitment. The term rock star really to me means nothing. You know, is it cool when you hear it? Yeah, whatever. It's cool. But to me, why I do this is because I'm trying to take that little bit of time that people are stressed out of their mind, and they don't know what to do, or they don't know when they're going to be able to pay this bill, but they need something to take that edge off. They're like, man, let's just go check this band out. Oh, this guy's playing over here. Oh, I know the drummer of this artist. Let's go watch them. That's why I do it. I want to give you that 90 minutes of joy that you don't got to worry about for 90 minutes, where all the stress and all the crap, whether you're having problems with your wife and girlfriend, right, or your boyfriend, or you can't pay bills, or, you know, life just is getting you down. But we're here to take that away from you. That's why I do it. It has nothing about being a rock star, getting girls, going all over the country, money. That's nothing. To me, that's nothing. Mm-hmm. I do it because I purely love to make art. I love to play. I love to just make people smile. And that's why I do it. And that's the one reason why I've kept at it, especially at my age. And I'm not going to slow down until my body says, okay, Brian, it's time to slow down. But
you're done. Yeah.
But even when it says that, I'm going to still keep going, because I don't listen. It's like my friend in Raleigh. I tell her when she's like run down or she's like feeling good, but hey, I got to work out. But I'm like, you need to calm down and relax for a little bit, but I know you're not going to listen to what I say. So I get it. Yeah. So, you know, I'm the same way. I have a no quit attitude. So, and I expect other people to be the same way. You know, like if you really love a dream so much, you got to go for it, and you got to be 100% in. And if you're not, 9 to 5 is good.
Might be your own dream.
There's nothing wrong with 9 to 5. Some people's dream is to have a 9 to 5 job and to have babies and a house and picket fence. That's great. There's nothing wrong with that. Not judging that. I think that's a great dream. My dreams are just, I want a little bit more. And that's why I went for
Well,
it.
That's the great thing about living in America. You can have whatever dream you want to have.
Yeah.
And whoever else can have whatever dream they want to have. People don't have to have the same dream. There's opportunities for everybody to do different things. And I agree wholeheartedly with what you said. Whatever your dream is, you've got to be 100% in. You've got to give 100% to it. If you don't, then that might not be the right dream for you.
Right.
You
Absolutely.
might need to reevaluate.
Absolutely.
Because I firmly believe in anything that you do, it doesn't matter what it is, that you put 100% into it. And if you can't put 100% into it, then just back off and let somebody do it that can.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. And that's totally okay. And there's like so many musicians here in town that want it. And I see it all the time. But there are some musicians that move in the town and they just don't have guidance. They don't know where to go at it. When I came into town, I had nobody guiding me. I was scared out of my mind. I had no idea what I was doing. That's one thing I love about like the new guys that come into town, because a lot of them, they don't have that guidance. They don't know how to get in the door. They don't know who to meet. I love helping new guys out. That's one of my biggest things I love to do. And, there are the musicians that are really well and they're doing really well off, and the ones that are scared, they're afraid that they're not going to go anywhere. But I tell anybody that's new into Nashville, I was like, dude, don't get discouraged. It takes time. They do call this.
Oh, it takes time, and you're going to hear a bunch of no's.
This is what they
hear any yeses.
They call this a 10-year town. But the thing is, I've been here for 5 years, and I've been very fortunate to be where I'm at. And I know the next kid that comes into town can do the same thing, because nobody into this town just says, I'm moving to Nashville just for fun. No, if you're moving here to Nashville, you know what you're doing. You're coming here for a reason. It's like moving to Los Angeles. Hey, I want to move to Los Angeles and Hollywood to be the next big thing. I'm not saying everyone's moving here to be the next big thing, but they are aspiring to follow their passion as a musician. And I will tell you, every single one of them that I meet and every single one of them that I watch every day, I'm inspired every single day by them, because there's so many. And I tell everybody, there's way better drummers and there's way better musicians than me. I know that because I'm in the same boat as these guys that are coming into town. But it's how you stand apart, and it's also how you treat people too. So if you treat people, you love them, you give them guidance, they're going to give it right back. And that's what I love about this town. That's what I love about all our friends that I have and the musicians I play with, the people that hire me. I talk a lot about Ryan. I talk a lot about Josh. I'm grateful that these guys hire me, because these guys I am inspired by, that I get to play their music, but also bring life to something new. And, sky's the limit.
Well, it's, you talk about, there's better drummers than you. Well, of course there is. There's worse drummers than you. There's better drummers than you. There's always better and worse of whatever of somebody. But it's all about how you vibe with that person too.
Yeah.
That, you might be a freaking fantastic drummer, which you are, but you might not be right for this band or this artist.
Right.
Because you just don't vibe well together, or you don't vibe their music or whatever. It's just like, whenever Ryan's doing auditions, I always tell these guys, go listen to his music first. Listen to his music. If you vibe with it, then we'll set it up.
Yeah.
Because if you hate his music or you're not feeling it, you're going to be a crap-ass drummer or a crap-ass guitar player for him, but you might be phenomenal.
Yeah.
So it makes a difference. And that's why there can be so many of you guys in Nashville.
Yep. And it's great.
Guys or girls. Let me specify that. I call everybody guys. So guys means guys or girls. So just out of curiosity, since I said that, because I know there's plenty of women and men, singers, songwriters, producers, that kind of thing. Even guitar players.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've come across yet a female drummer. Have you?
There is a girl here in town. I can't remember her name to save my life. She's a black girl. I can't remember her name though. But my Lord, this girl is phenomenal. I can't remember her name to save my life. I've seen her play over at Redneck Riviera a couple times, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm not. I'm just trying to get on your level because you're really good. So I mean, I can't remember her name, but there are a few female drummers here in town, and the ones that I do know of, they're phenomenal. I know there's a girl. She's not from here. But she takes lessons with Rich Redmond, which is James' drummer. Is that Ryan? he wants to come in on the party.
Hey, I'm doing my show.
Yeah, man. Why are you interrupting it?
Brian said, "Why are you interrupting us?"
Man, this is my moment. That's what it's all about, man.
Really? Yes.
Gotta have fun, man. Gotta have fun.
I had to do that for a minute.
That's
He's
funny.
like, "Are you still doing it?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Dude, I'll talk. You keep me going. We'll be here for like 3 hours, but no, we'll cut it off in a minute.
I was about to start. We're going on an hour and a half soon, so we'll cut it off at an hour and a half. I've had so much fun. That's the problem. I get to talking or listening and talking both, and I could just go forever. But there comes a point when I have to say, "I'm done." I'm
just saying. Taco Bell's calling my name. No, I'm not having Taco Bell tonight. If I had Taco Bell tonight, I'm gonna hate life. So no, no. But there are some girl drummers here in town that are really good. I just don't know them very well, but I do know some. There's not drummers here in Nashville, but there's some drummers that I met in North Carolina that I still am like, dude, how are you not, with someone like, there's a kid that I met in Wilmington through Tidal Drumworks, which is who I'm endorsed by. This little kid, his name is Josh Cook. My Lord, this kid, like maybe 12 years old, dances circles around me. I'm just like, all right, kid, I get you. I see where you're at. Man, there's another drummer he's actually from Wilmington. He came to Nashville for a little bit. We went to L.A. Still a really good friend of mine. We talk a lot. His name is Ralph Alexander. That kid is unreal on the drums, and he's seen the world. He's been the drum tech for like the Strokes. He's played for some pretty well-known people, recorded with some great people. I mean, I could talk about drummers all day long that I know that I'm just like, oh my Lord, but we'd be here for So we'd be here.
I think always, if you ever get to the point where you don't think that another drummer is great or better than you, that makes you strive after that, then it's time for you to quit.
Yep. I'm always striving to be better. I mean, everybody thinks because, you're on this gig or you've recorded on this album and you've done this and this and this, you've made it. There's no easy way to make it. To be honest with you, I haven't made it. And I'm glad that I can say that because I'm nowhere to where I really want to be. I want that Google money. I want that, $10,000. But, I'm happy though where I'm at because the thing is it makes you want it more. And, a good friend of mine in town said there's no easy way to make it. There's no book for it. You just have to go. No. Do it on your own. Yep. And you're writing that. And I've been writing this book for 5 years.
And work your butt off.
Yeah. I mean, you have to. I mean, it's not given to you. I mean,
absolutely.
There's probably some people who get things given to them. But, But
it's much more worth it if you hustle after it and you work hard for it and without a doubt you earned into it.
Hey, I've gone broke. I've gone broke. I've eaten ramen noodles. I've sometimes wondered when my next.
Hey, you're good though.
Oh, yeah, they are. I mean, come on, give me some chicken ramen noodles. Throw a little bit of sauce in it. Girl, game on. Hate life the next day, but it's all right. I mean, but yeah, I mean, there's days now. I've never slept in my car. I've never had to sleep in my car, but I've wondered when I'm going to pay the rent next. I've been there. But the thing was, this was my choice. I didn't have to make this choice. I was fine. I was totally fine. I was making really good money. I was good. My job was paying my insurance. I had 401k. I was doing really good. I had money in the bank. I had a really nice car. I still have a really nice car. But, I got a nice car for what music is doing for me. So, I chose this life. I wanted to take this life. I wanted to prove to myself that I could do it. And I was told many times, you can't do it. You're not good enough. You'll never be there. You're wasting your time. You're never going to be anything. That's okay, because you know what? I take all that and
as fuel.
And it's fueled my friend. There are days, trust me, do not get me wrong. There are days where I am depressed out of my mind, where I'm like, I don't want to be here. I want to be home. I want to go home. I'm ready just for normal life. And then I get a taste of normal life while I leave for a little bit. I'm like, no.
I'm ready to go back.
Get me back to what I do best. And, I'm grateful for the people that have stuck by my side. I'm grateful for the people that have pushed me. And, I'm grateful for the artists that I get to play with and the songwriters that I get to write with. And, not one person that I have played with that I am not grateful for, because if I wasn't grateful for any of them, I wouldn't have a job. So, when it comes to the side guys, when it comes to the front guys, the management, the drivers, all that, there's a lot that plays into a music career. And it's not just now, yes, you are working for yourself and you're trying to get your name out there. But at the end of the day, I've been very fortunate, been very blessed. And the fact that I'm still at 39 years old, and I just lost you. Hang on. Going back, there we go, because my computer.
I was going to say, I'm here.
No, my computer keeps on snapping out. Thank you, Dominica, my friend Dom. Actually, I'm going to shout her out real quick. She did pictures for me for my album that I was going to put out. I decided not to put the album out because it's just not the right time. But the single cover, she did all those pictures for me down in South Carolina. So love that girl. She's got a great eye, great photographer. Sorry, I had to get off on that little tangent. I had to shout her out. But
did you say she's in South Carolina?
She's in Myrtle Beach, actually. Myrtle Beach, South
Myrtle
Carolina.
Beach. Okay.
But
that's cool.
I'm very grateful to be able to do what I do, and I couldn't do it, one, without three things. One, my mom, my dad, my sisters, my whole entire family. I couldn't do it without my friends and the musicians that I play with, and I couldn't do it without God and my faith. I talk a lot of crap. I do drink. Don't yell at me. If you're watching.
You're not going to hell for that unless you're a drunkard daily.
Well, come to Nashville, it'll make you a drunkard. But no, I mean, my faith has really kept me grounded, and it's kept me here. And, and I'm very grateful for that. And I'm grateful that I've been able to do this at 39 years old. So, I mean, it's pretty awesome. It's been a great journey, and I can't wait to see what the next 10 years come up, and we'll see what happens. Who knows what's going to happen. So
I can't wait to see what happens. Because for as long as you're drumming for Ryan, I'm going to get to see your journey.
Hey.
So I know, yay me. I'm just ready for this darn pandemic to be over so we can have live music again. So guys like you can get back out there doing your thing. And I'm very thankful that you said what you did. I love that you said you couldn't do it without God, your family, and your friends. Because, I mean, that's it right there.
That's all you need. That's all you need.
Exactly.
And it's like a good friend said to me one time, if you can count on one hand in this life and you had 5 really good friends, then that's all you need. And to be honest with you, I
believe that. I
can do that. I mean, I have tons, but the ones that I really hold dear to me, I can count on one.
Oh yeah, that you could call at 3:00 in the morning needing anything and they'd be there. Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about that story right here, but there is one. I felt so bad for him too. I felt so bad for him, but the pictures to prove it were great. So we'll leave it at that. Some of my friends, some of my friends that are watching right now, they're like, "Yeah, that's Brian." So I don't know how I made it through high school and college, but I don't know how I did, but I did. So
did you go to App State?
No, I went to UNCW.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. You had already moved to Wilmington at that time. Okay, that's right.
My parents.
Brian, I love that you were on here with me. I love that we just had a different type of shows. I love behind the scenes and seeing, just that behind the front guy. It's they're great. We need a front guy, whether it's a guy or gal, but it takes everybody else too.
Absolutely.
And I'm afraid, I don't want you guys to be left out. And it seems like you're kind of. I know it's not within the band or within the team. You're not forgotten.
No,
but
we're
to
not.
the outside world, I don't think you get the recognition you deserve.
Well, I love doing things like this because people really do want to hear about the other musicians that are with us.
Yes. So send people my way.
We'll do.
Yeah, since you were my first guy on. I love it. It was great, phenomenal, and I'm glad it could be you.
I appreciate that.
So I want to give a voice to all the other guys. So all the other guys and girls, that are on the other side of things, be it management, other musicians, producers, writers, photographers, whatever. In the music industry, it's all about the music industry and what that's all about. And everybody plays a vital role, no matter what their job is. And I just feel like the music industry is really hurting right now. And it's just a perfect time to showcase some of those people that deserve it.
Absolutely. So, I mean, and, thank you for having me. This was great. I haven't very, very long time. And, like I said, I hate talking about myself, but, it was kind of cool. It was kind of cool to share some old memories, kind of give people a little background about who I am and what I do. And, I appreciate it. Selfish plug for myself. My name is Brian Russell Collins. You can find me on Instagram, Brian Russell Collins, Facebook, Brian Russell Collins. I have a single out on Spotify called Until the Day I Die. That's a cover from Story of the Year. You can hear my drums on quite a few different albums. Katie Noel, Sam Hunt, a bunch of other people. So, I'm very grateful that I get to do what I do. And thank you for taking the time and reaching out and letting me be on here.
Yeah, I loved it. And we'll do it again. I can't wait for the next episode of this. So I'm just starting it out once a week right now until I see kind of what the how much response I have to it. And if I need to up it, we'll up it because I want to showcase, whoever in the music industry that feels like they want their story heard. And
absolutely.
Yeah, because I think they should. They deserve it. They're great and they work hard, and it just needs to happen. So there's a lot of people behind the scenes that, not that they want credit, they're not out there seeking it, but I think they deserve credit since I'm kind of behind the scenes now and I see what all goes on. I'm like, these people need, they're important.
Absolutely.
They're important. You guys rock, and the artist could not do it without you. And I appreciate you. I know they appreciate you. I hope the audience has appreciated having Brian on tonight. Y'all go give him a follow. And let's see. I will be back on, what's today? Wednesday. Nobody tomorrow, but we'll be back on Friday night. And until then, peace out.
See you guys.
Y'all have a good rest of the week. Bye.
Stacey, I appreciate it.
Hang on there, Brian.